y'all, this is Stacy with the Craft Room Diaries. Welcome to my new craft room. I'm so excited about completing my move into my much larger space that I wanted to share with you guys how I set it up. And also I thought I'd share with you how I used all repurposed furniture to create what I believe is a absolutely fantastic space. Are you setting up your craft room on a budget right now? Or maybe you're like me and you just really rather spend your funds, whatever funds you have, on craft supplies, like me, but if so, drop me a note in the comments below if you've come up with some great bargain finds or some great ideas or your thoughts on that. So just a month ago, I made the decision to move my craft room from the existing space that it had occupied. It's a 12 by 14 space that I've been in since we built our home 8 years ago, into the adjacent, much larger game room that was really no longer being used by my kids. They're grown, really not using the space at all. Now, I really loved my craft room, and I really loved how it had evolved over the years. So it was kind of a little bit of a hesitation, but during the coronavirus pandemic lockdown and stuff, maybe I had a little too much time on my hands. But I found myself, I'd always find myself constantly moving things around in order to have a little more space to work. So my original plan was to move just my art supplies into a portion of the game room so that I could free up a little bit more space. And then as I was just planning to move that around, I started thinking, like, why not just move into the huge space, right, altogether, and just convert my craft room into a guest bedroom? It's a great idea, right? So that's what I ended up doing. So a month later, I absolutely love the way it's turned out. So I thought I'd share that with you. In planning out the space, I knew I needed a large shelving unit to store scrapbook albums and other supplies. I did look at the Cadillacs. I know a lot of people have used those in their craft rooms, but I ruled it out right away, as I'm over 5 hours from Houston. I'm right outside the New Orleans area, and the shipping just really didn't seem to make sense to me, okay? But I found this great entertainment center, this old school solid wood entertainment center on Facebook Marketplace. And I knew it would be perfect, as the shelves would be deep enough to hold scrapbook albums. I knew I'd have some extra space in it as well. I paid $150 for it, painted it with General Finishes lamp black milk paint. And there's still plenty of room to add a shelf across where the TV goes if I end up needing more space. So I'm really excited about that. My scrapbook desk over here is a piece that I already had in my previous craft room. It's a piece that I picked up many years ago from a Habitat Restore. I think it's cool because it's got 2 different levels on it, a shelf underneath to store things on, just to get them off my workspace. And I think I paid $45 for it years ago. It comes apart, so it's easier to move around, being that it comes apart. And in my move, I ended up painting the legs of it red, because I just thought it'd be cooler to have them red, because they were white. My heat press station is an old desk that I had that was previously in my daughter's room when she was growing up. I don't do a whole lot of vinyl, but it is nice having a separate space for it, and it is right across from the island in the center of the room. So if I need a bigger workspace to weed or just to lay things out, I have that space to do that in. So this section is for art and painting. I'm so excited about not having to move everything out of my craft room. Last year I started painting large abstract canvases, and every time I wanted to paint something, I had to move everything out of my craft room to have space for it. So now I'm super excited not having to move stuff around. And this clock, y'all, I've had a love-hate relationship with this clock since my father built it for me almost 20 years ago. It required the chain weights to be pulled to keep the clock running, which you have to do that every week. Never could keep up with that. But what I ended up doing is I moved it into my craft room, and I added little shelves in it to store my paints. I used command hooks and some little shelves to store my paints, and like, I'm absolutely in love with this clock now. I think it looks so super cute in that little space right there, and it's got a purpose now, and I don't have to pull chains anymore. So I knew I wanted a large surface work area in the center of the room, sort of like an all-purpose island. I found these 2 hotel desks at a local furniture liquidator store that buys and sells used hotel furniture. 2 things that I love about them. They do have a few scratches on the top, but I'm sure I'm going to jazz these up at some point. But 2 things that I absolutely love about this purchase here is that, number one, they were $30 a piece. So for $60, I got both of these desks. I have them butted up against each other to make one nice size 5 by 4 island. And then the second thing is that they have electrical outlets on the front. You know how hotel desks have plug-ins, okay? So if you can find one of those, it's fantastic. So if you need to plug your phone, phone charger, computer, Cricket, any other electrical, lights, anything else you need, great workspace with a hotel desk. And my old vintage banker's desk still sits in the corner here for when I need to do some for real work. But it's so cool. I absolutely love this piece. I picked it up at a thrift store about 5 years ago, stripped the top down to bare wood and refinished it and painted the base of it. So it's absolutely beautiful. So I don't mind having it in here. I don't necessarily like having to do work in here, for real work in here. But anyway, it's a fun spot to do it when I do need to. Of course, we're never completely done with our craft rooms. We're always adding extra stuff, and I still need to add some overhead task lighting and a few other small details. But I'm super happy that the major work, the bulk of the move and the painting and everything else is done. And I'm really looking forward to getting together with some of my scrappy friends for our first little scrap event here in my new space. But thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this craft room tour, enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and share it with a scrappy friend. And if you're a new visitor to my channel, please consider subscribing. I hope you visit the Craft Room Diaries again soon, and I hope you're having a happy scrappy day.